Hello, a humble welcome by the Time Geographer. In this video, I have two things to tell you. Number one is how to record a simple time lapse using simple equipment without much of the hassle. And number two is a bit of a message for all the new content creators out there. So, let's get to it, shall we? Now, before we get into all the technical stuff, a little bit about myself. I am a small time videographer who does mostly mobile videography and mobile photography. And to be a bit more specific, I do time based videography like time lapses, hyperlapses, motion lapses, slow motion, and things like that. And as much as possible, I try to travel to different locations, to different countries in search of interesting landscapes or scenarios to record my videos. And if I can't do much traveling, I always try to work with what I have and where I am. I'll start off with the message I mentioned I have for the new content creators. I'm trying to tell anyone who's watching this video, if you are a new content creator, if you are new to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or any other kind of social media platform, is that you do not need expensive equipment or complicated settings to make some kind of content. All you need is your willingness to work with what you have. Now, if you look at my channel stats right now, you'll be able to see that I have less than 20 subs and less than 15 videos as content. So one might wonder, why in the heaven would I listen to this guy who has less than 20 subs and less than 15 videos in his channel for advice? You will be right to make that rationale. But this video is for all the new content creators, and what I'm about to tell you might help you get going, or at least think about starting something. There are thousands of us out there who's trying to make it on YouTube or any other kind of social media platform, for that matter. TikTok, Instagram, etc. And there are thousands of us who do not have expensive equipment or complicated settings at hand to record content and upload it, hoping for views and subs and traction in general. This video is for those guys. Trust me when I say it, I know the struggle. I know how hard you've been trying. I know how hard it is to make content, to edit content. And my hope is to tell you guys and inspire you, hopefully, not to give up on whatever you're trying. Like I said in the beginning, this video is creating something simple with simple equipment. So therefore, you do not need expensive equipment or complicated equipment to create something simple. Work with what you have, and you'll be surprised what you can achieve with it. So in that spirit, I hope you stick around till the end of the video and be inspired by what I have to show you. And hopefully, in the end, you'll see for yourself how far you can go with simple things in hand. And you can use these ideas across all platforms, not just YouTube. Like I said, TikTok, Instagram, it'll be the same across all platforms. And you'll see for yourself. As the saying goes, you don't need everything to make something, but you can always make something out of anything. So, I hope my message is clear. And with that, let's get to the next part of the video, which is time lapses. So this video is the first video of a three-part video series. And this one I'll go through the equipment that I use for my recordings. And in the second video, I'll do an in-depth guide on the app that I'm using to record my time lapses. And in the last video, I'll show you how to select a proper subject to record the time lapses and how you would settle down in the environment, for the recordings. So this video series is one of my first major videos that I'm trying to upload on my channel. There could be many lapses along the way. I humbly apologize in advance. Don't be mad, I'm new to this, so I hope you'll understand. Okay, equipment wise, being a mobile videographer, obviously I'm using a mobile phone. So this is the phone that I'm using right now. It's an iPhone 13 Pro Max, which I purchased as a refurbished unit. You can get these pretty cheap because you can't get any brand new ones, like brand new iPhone 13s anymore. So you can get this pretty cheap. I got this from a camera shop. It's a reliable shop. So if you're buying one, make sure the shop you're buying is a proper legit place, because there are many places who sell fake ones. Uh, and there are no special features. I don't think so. And it gets the job done. So this one has a three lens camera system. One 12 MP standard lens, one 12 MP wide lens, and one 12 MP telephoto or zoom lens. So it's the same lens on all three cameras. It's pretty good quality wise. You can get pretty good footage out of this. So the battery on this is pretty good as well. You can record something for several hours without it going down quickly. But when you use the phone more and more, the health of the battery will eventually go down, so that might affect how much time you can use it continuously. So just keep that in mind. Now, I do not know the processor, how much of a processor or how much of RAM this phone has. But like I've been telling throughout this video, you don't need to make things complicated. If you have a decent phone with a decent camera, you're halfway there. Now, the app that I use to record the time lapses is not the native camera app on their phone. The reason being, the native camera app has very limited controls, like manual controls over the camera. And when it comes to time lapses, it's more limited. For that reason, I'm using a dedicated app, a third party app called Relapse. That's the app name. It's from a company called Reflex, which I'll do an in-depth guide on the second video. But for now, just remember that I'm not using the native camera app on the iPhone. Other than that, like I said, there are no special features that I know of. The screen is pretty good, the camera is pretty good, the colors, iPhones are known for their colors. But if you don't have an iPhone, you can use any other kind of phone, Android or Windows. Uh, the concept will be the same across all phones. The concept of recording a time lapse will be the same. So you can use any other kind of phone if you do not have an iPhone, or if you don't like Apple, or if you're not an Apple fan, you can use any other phone as well. So that's just about it about the recording device, which is the main piece of equipment you need. And next is something you would use to keep your recording device stable. Now, for this, you can get creative. But before that, a little something about time lapses. If you're recording a time lapse and not a motion lapse, you need to have a stable platform to place your recording device. So, in this case, your phone. Okay. If you can find a proper place to set your phone down without it, falling off or sliding off, you're good to go. You don't need what I'm about to show you. But it's not always you will find a proper place. For an example, if you're trying to record something in a certain angle, or let's say an inclined or a decline angle, you might not find a proper place. So in that case, this device will help you achieve that. It is a tripod. This is the one I use. It is from K&fconcepts. I bought this from the same place that I purchased the mobile phone. It's nothing too fancy. You can place it anywhere. You can extend the legs. I think this one goes up to 72 inches in total when you extend the legs to their maximum amount. And you can adjust it however you want, depending on the scenario, whatever you're recording. Like I said, you can place it on any kind of surface, rocks or any kind of even surface, and it works. And this one has a bolt head on top, which you can rotate 360. This one works with mobile phones and proper cameras as well. This is a universal bolted. I think you can attach camera equipment on top of it as well. And this one has a little hook underneath to hold some kind of weight to make it more sturdy. So if you're recording something on a windy day, you might want to hold something or like a sandbag or a sack of rocks to make it more sturdy. And other than that, uh, oh yeah, one more thing. So remember I told you about recording something in awkward angles. This one has a option where you can have this section of the tripod horizontal. Let me show you, like so. So you can incline it or decline it and place your recording device at one end, and you can get that you know somewhat of a different angle, not a conventional shot, but a interesting one. Again, you do not need this if you have a proper place to set your recording device down without any kind of issue. You do not need this. But again, if you're trying to record something on an awkward angle or a different kind of shot, you might want to use one, but I'll let you be creative with it. Next is a phone holder. Now, because I'm using a tripod, I'm using this because this tripod did not come with a phone adapter to hold the phone. I need to have a uh, separate phone holder for that. So because I'm using the tripod, I'm using this phone holder. But again, if you're not using a tripod, you don't need the phone holder as well. So there's two things that you do not need. It's optional. I'll let you decide on that. But since I'm using the tripod, I have this phone holder. This is the one I use. It is from smallrig. I got it from the same place again, where I bought the tripod and the mobile phone from. It's metal. It's a metal phone holder. It's pretty good, pretty sturdy. You can adjust the angle, the orientation, depending if you're recording something on portrait mode or landscape mode. You can adjust this part, which changes the orientation. And in the bottom, you have an Arca Swiss base plate. This is again a universal base plate, and you can place it on the ball head like this, and you can adjust. And you can tighten this part here, and it will hold the phone. And you can place the phone like this and rotate it if you want, like so, and you're good to go. By the way, I'll leave all the links for these equipment down in the description. So if you are thinking of buying, uh, appreciate it if you can use one of my affiliate links in the description if you are buying one. The last piece of equipment I use is something very, very, very optional. It is more optional than the tripod and the phone holder. Okay, I would go so much as to say you actually don't need it. But since I have it, I'll explain what it is. It is an ND filter. Specifically, it's a variable ND filter. So before I get into it, I'll explain what an ND filter does. So ND filters are basically sunglasses for your camera. What I mean by that is, if you're recording something on a bright sunny day, or if you're recording something with a longer shutter speed on your camera, you might want to think about using an ND filter. And also, I'll explain why this might be relevant to when it comes to time lapses, and why this is not relevant as one might think. So, for time lapses, one thing you will need to make your time lapse video better is by introducing motion blur into it. Okay, so motion blur is something that our naked eye would see if you're looking at something that is moving at high speeds. So when you're recording something in a time lapse, you're basically little something about time lapses. A time lapse is a set of individual photos that you would take over a long period of time and stitch together. So that will create the illusion of time going faster in that particular video. That's what a time lapse in layman's terms. So when you record something in a time lapse, If you have motion blur in that recording, it makes the time lapse looks so much better, because like I said, it's a set of individual photos. So how would you introduce motion blur into a single photo? That's where the ND filter comes into play. So to introduce motion blur into a single photo, you need to have lower shutter speed when you're taking the photo. The problem with that is, when you have a longer shutter speed, the amount of light that enters the camera lens is so much high, and your image will be overexposed. You will not be able to see anything. You will see a bright white light on your screen. So when you set a longer shutter speed on your camera and the light that enters the camera lens is high, you would use the ND filter to reduce the amount of light that enters the camera lens, and that in turn will create the illusion of motion blur. So that's how you introduce motion blur into a time lapse. Remember, I told you there's a relevance of an ND filter to a time lapse video, and there's a non-relevance as well. So the relevant part is, when you're trying to introduce motion blur into the time lapse, you will need an ND filter. The not so relevant part is the app that I'm using. Remember, I told you a third-party app, the Relapse app by Reflex. That app has something called digital motion blur, which is pretty much the same as you would get an ND filter motion blur. Okay, like I said, I'll do an in-depth guide on that app and the best settings for different scenarios on the second video. But for now, remember, you would use an ND filter to introduce motion blur into the time lapse. But if you're using the app that I will show you in the second video, you will not need the ND filter. You will have the option of omitting it altogether. But since I have the ND filter, so this is the ND filter, but this is the adapter plate. You can fix the filter like so and clip the adapter plate over the phone lens like so. And you can adjust the filtration by rotating this slider. Like I said, this is an ND variable ND filter, so you can I think this is 4 stop, so ND 8 to 64 I think. And you can adjust the filtration, the amount of light entering the camera. That's about it actually. 4 items is all you need, and out of those 4 items, only one item, the recording device, is what you really need to get going, and other 3 you can omit altogether if you can be creative with the alternatives. And of course, you can improve yourself, because there's always room for improvement. Improvements in terms of changing your gear, the manner in which you conduct your recordings, and when you reach a capable point eventually on your platform, you can think about these next steps. Steps like going for better equipment or better settings, and that will help you produce even better content going forward, quantity wise, quality wise. But until that point, hopefully you can work with these, just like myself, because this is all I have, this is all I work with. And for me, the next steps would be to go for a proper mirrorless camera, which is dedicated for time-lapse photography and videography. But unfortunately, I'm not in a place to go for it right now as of yet. But like I said, that is my goal, that is what I'm working towards. And like so, you can set yourself a goal and work towards that, and in time, definitely you will get there. But until then, this is it. This is all you need to start your content creation journey, and this goes for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or any other kind of online content creation platform. The principles and ideas that I talked about all throughout the video would be the same across all platforms. And what you need to remember is, the most important thing you need is your willingness, paired with a couple of simple equipment, and you'll be on your merry way. So guys, I hope this video was helpful to anyone who's thinking or hoping to start their content creation journey. I hope my message from this video is clear for anyone who's watching. And thank you for watching the video till the end. And if you think this video was helpful and makes sense, I would humbly request you consider giving it a like and a sub. And if there's anything that you would like to share or criticize, leave a comment so I can respond. And with that, this is the Time Geographer signing off with a final thought: don't give up without even getting started. Peace be with you.